What's up, guys? Welcome to the Jared Williams Show. Today we got
Dalton
the man of the
Hatch.
hour, Dalton Hatch, on. What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
I'm pumped to be here. First time in Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first time ever. Never been
Dang.
to Florida.
So we've already been talking before we turned the cameras on for what, like 45 minutes? Felt like 10 minutes. So we should be able to meet our time quota, no problem.
I
Huh?
think we'll be fine. Like I told you, I could talk to a wall.
Yeah, first time to Florida. Okay, so you're from Texas, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Born and raised in Texas,
raised.
in Bandera.
San Antonio.
You were born in San Antonio.
Moved out to Bandera with my wife just because tired of being in San Antonio. There's too many people. You know, I wanted some space.
Yeah, Bandera's cool.
It's awesome, dude.
I like it.
It is the best place in the world to call home. I love my community. They love us. We give back to the community a ton. And
Cool.
yeah, I absolutely love that place.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you know this, but nobody else knows this. I ran a race in Bandera.
Yep.
Some people might know this, but why is the mud so freaking sticky?
Dude, I don't know. Maybe it's because 99% of the ground is rock and the only surface mud is just super Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it's nuts.
Dude, it's wild. So the race I ran, we ran into the night and it started raining right before the finish line. Had like, I don't know, 10, 15 miles to go.
Yeah.
Dude, and when that mud came out, there was like an inch on the bottom of my shoes. And it made my shoes like 10 pounds heavier per shoe.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like impossible to run. It was terrible.
Yeah. It's fun doing yard leaks in because we, you know, our water lines are only 12 to 18 inches deep.
Yeah.
Because it don't get cold.
Yep.
If it does get cold, it's like, you know, we get these weird times. Like this year, I think we had a day where it was like 7 degrees or something.
Yeah.
And you'd have thought the world ended in Bandera.
Dude, here our water lines are only like 4 inches deep.
So the Uber that brought me here was like, oh yeah, our water table is like 8 feet or something like that. I'm like, our water wells are like hundreds of feet deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through rock.
Yeah.
Just to get, because it's limestone, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But hey, it's good for water softeners.
Yeah. Okay. So you own DH Plumbing
Yes, sir.
in Bandera, but
Yes,
you
sir.
service San Antonio.
Yes, sir. I started it in Bandera in March of 23, and then we moved to a shop in Castroville, Texas, which is a small town about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you live in Bandera. And then we got an office in San Antonio once we started getting a little bit more well-known, and we started getting more and more customers in San Antonio, because that was the goal anyway, because that's where the majority of the people are. That's where the majority of the economy is, and it's just that's where all the plumbing supply houses. It just makes sense, right?
Yep.
That's where all the plumbers live.
Yep.
You know, there's a few plumbing companies in Bandera, some good guys. There's just not a whole lot of plumbers to choose from to hire that live there, and I'd rather hire guys that live in the area we're servicing than, like we were talking earlier, spending what we spend on fuel every day.
Yep.
You know, drive from Bandera to Bernie, that's an hour, and then Bernie to San Antonio, that's 30 to 45 minutes, depending where you're at. Like, it's hard to do multiple jobs in a day where we live, but because I strategically hire guys that live in certain different areas, you know, we're able to service a really big area.
So rather than limiting your service area, you just hired guys further out.
Yep.
We should circle back on that, because I have my theories about like limiting your service area
Yeah.
to an extent, but it'll be good to hear how you did it. So
Yeah.
just tell us how you started in 2023,
Yeah.
and then tell us
2 years last month.
Tell us a little bit about your story, like getting to that point, and then tell us how you got to where you're at today.
Okay. So, like I was telling you earlier, I've been with my wife since she was a freshman. I was a sophomore in high school, started dating. Her brother was a plumber for a company, and, you know, go through high school, the whole thing. I graduate. I thought I was going to be a diesel mechanic.
Nice.
Quickly realized I'm horrible at that job. I don't like turning wrenches on things that aren't fun for me. I don't mind building a truck for me. I don't mind working on stuff with my dad, but yeah, as a career, quickly learned when it was not for me. But she got pregnant her senior year, and so her brother was like, well, we're hiring apprentices. And I legitimately didn't know plumbing was a career. I didn't know it was, because like I was telling you, my dad fixed everything our whole lives. I didn't know plumber was a job. I thought everyone's dad knew how to do everything.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I watched him sweat copper inside of a wall to fix a water line. He's a PE teacher. Like my dad's my best friend in the whole world. That is my best friend in the entire world. He is the most mechanically inclined human being I've ever met in my life.
That's cool.
PE teacher, owns a barbecue catering company. He built a, God, he's going to kill me if I get this wrong, a 66 Bronco, fully restored, like showroom restored.
Nice.
He hates this, but he also built and restored a 76 Bronco for me, my first vehicle, and I sold it to get a Cummins because I wanted a diesel truck. And I sold it for like $5,900, and I bet that thing's probably worth like 20 grand right now. He brings it up. It doesn't matter what anyone's talking about. He's like, hey, you want to hear something dumb my son did?
Nice. Thanks, Dad.
Which fully deserve.
Yep.
Fully deserve. But yeah, he jack of all trades kind of guy, master of all.
Yep.
He teacher in the summers, built decks and fences. Like that's where I get my work ethic from 100%. That dude, 7 days a week, his whole life, like that. I just thought, okay, that's what a man does.
Yep.
And in my opinion, to this day, that's what a man does.
Yeah.
And I watched him do that. So I was like, okay, I knew I wanted to be in a trade. I knew I didn't want to go to college.
Yep.
I knew it, but I still tried it. I did a semester at Texas State Technical College to do aviation mechanics. Realized how much electrical was in it. Didn't want that. Moved back home. And then I went to St. Philip's College for diesel mechanics. And that was when I was in class when my wife called me and told me she was pregnant with our first child.
Nice.
And I stood up in class verbatim and said, I'm having a kid. I'm never coming back. I'll see y'all later. I told our teacher, I was like, because before the class started, I was like, look, my girlfriend's about to call me, and either she's pregnant or she's not. If I get up and leave, just know I'm never coming back because I got to go to work. So I just knew. And then.
So you just couldn't afford to go to school anymore.
I just knew it was time. I knew what I had to take care of. My priorities were different then as soon as she said she was pregnant. Gotcha. So I just knew it was like, okay, well, she's going to go to school. I'm going to make sure of that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go to work.
So how old are you at that point?
19.
Yeah. 19
or 18. I turned 23 days after she was born, like I was telling you. And my wife was 8 weeks pregnant when she walked the stage. Literally did not show until she was 6 months pregnant.
Nice.
Like wild. But of course, somehow, some way, every kid in the school finds out, and it's that whole thing, right? But of course, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about what anyone thinks of me. I really haven't ever cared.
Yep.
My wife, like, I finally converted her to be like, I don't care what y'all think.
Yeah.
You know, but she's a sweetheart. I don't even deserve her. Anyway. But we get pregnant, and then we moved in together. We got an apartment. Right after, like the day she graduated, she loaded up her car and moved to an apartment with me.
Cool.
And her mom hated me. Thought I ruined her life.
Did you have all the tats back then?
No. That's a whole... I've lived like 40 lives. Like I've had really low lows, really high highs, really low lows. Like I've been all over the place.
How old are you?
31.
31.
Yeah.
4 lives at 31. Yeah. You're like a cat. Dude.
I'm telling you, man. I like the more I tell you, it's. I like to think back on it, and I'm super blessed, man. Like I told you earlier, like I am beyond blessed. God has taken care of me more than I could ever be worthy of or ever deserve. Like I don't deserve any of this. I'm just pumped that I have it.
Cool.
You know, I don't take anything for granted anymore. Like I took life for granted for a really long time.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, we get an apartment. Her mom pretty much thought I ruined her life. I asked her dad if I could marry her twice because the first time I got engaged to her and then I became a complete piece of crap. So she left me for like 2 years and then I got her back. So then I had to she made me re-ask her dad. I told her, I was like, I'm not asking him again. She goes, well, that's where you're wrong. I was like, she was like, if you want to marry me, you have to ask my dad because she's a good daughter, you know, which I see back now as a guy that has daughters. I'm like, yeah, go ask him again. You screwed up. Go be a man. So ask me again. He's like, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you the first time. As long as you take care of her, I don't care.
Yep.
Now we have a great relationship. I love her dad. He's a great guy.
What does he do for a living?
He's an insurance adjuster, salesman, something like that. Insurance.
Yeah.
But for like cranes and stuff like that. And he just got that job. He was just like an auto adjuster for a long time. And then he just moved into like cranes and heavy equipment. And now it's cool because now that's like the language I speak. So like now we have something that we can kind of bond over because our relationship has always been kind of weird.
Yep.
Just because like I'm the guy that knocked his daughter up in high school and then turned into a complete scumbag and then fixed his life.
Yep.
You know? So we talk over. He's a great dude. He's a great grandfather to my kids. Yeah, I'm super blessed. Him and his wife, my wife's stepmother, and then my dad, who is like my stepdad, but he's been my dad my entire life. Like as far as I am concerned, that's my father.
Gotcha.
And then my mom, great. I mean, I couldn't. It's wild. I'll tell you some things that like I did in my life, and you're gonna be like, how do you do this or get to that point with the amazing support system that you had? It's like almost like I was just drawn to like, I'm going to screw my life up as much as possible so that the comeback story is killer.
There you go.
You know?
Yep.
And I have an amazing brother as well. Like my dad and my brother, my best friends in the whole world. Yeah. Shout out Jake and Jeff. Love y'all.
Cool.
But yeah, we moved in together, and then I started as an electrician's apprentice because one of my buddies from high school's dad was the superintendent, and I just needed a job, and I was a host at Chili's at the time, or a waiter at Chili's, hating my life. Like I've always been good with people, so it was cool in that way. But like, dude, the restaurant scene is like it's nuts. Like there's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of
I've heard that
sketchy people.
Yep.
You know, that was the first time I ever saw cocaine was a guy had snorted a line off the Chili's where the cooks are, the line.
Yep.
He did a line on the line.
Was it a cook?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They were slamming Fireball all day. And of course I'm like 18. I'm like, dude, these guys are freaking rock stars. Like these guys are living the dream. you know, not realizing they're driving a Honda Civic that has 2 lug nuts on each tire and 17 baby mamas and me thinking that they're the whole world, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he hired me as an electrician's apprentice. I guess it's okay to say now, but they accidentally did a typo on my pay. This, like, I'm telling you, dude, like, I've noticed God in my life so many times. This had to have been him because we were so poor. They told me I was going to make $13 an hour. They screwed up and gave me 25.
Oops.
We ate at Saltgrass every day for months, which is a steakhouse in Texas. I guess it's other places too, but either way, we ate there all the time. Like, we saved up $5,000 to be able to pay for the birth. Like, super blessed that happened. But
were you working a bunch of hours too?
Like 40 hours, 50 hours a week. It was a construction job for the Air Force Base in San Antonio, Lackland.
Yeah.
And so we were making scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
dude, my first job was on an Air Force base in
dope.
It's technically in North Pole, but kind of the same thing happened. I showed up to work.
The North Pole, that's so
weird. Yeah. I showed up to work. I was supposed to be making like $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And they didn't mess up.
I thought I was killing it when they offered 13.
Yeah. I ended up working with the boss, and he was like, "You're worth more than this." And so he paid me 23. And we were working 60, 70 hours a week.
Oh,
and my
dude.
paychecks, I was like 18.
That's a fat check.
At the time. And I had just gotten married. We lived in an apartment. Dude, we were literally eating steak and corn on the cob and baked potatoes.
Some lobster tails.
Yeah, every night. It was so funny to me, thinking back on it now.
Yeah. Oh, I do it all the time. I think about it.
Yep.
All the time. Like that's one of my favorite things to do is I always try to remember where I came from constantly because it makes me appreciate where I'm at more.
Yeah.
And I had a really bad habit of most of my life, like not appreciating where I was or what I was doing. I'm really hard on myself. Mm-hmm. Like I tell people all the time, you ain't gonna say nothing to me I haven't said that's 10 times worse.
Yeah.
like your opinion, I don't care.
Yeah.
You're soft and it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt me.
Yep.
You know. But yeah, dude, worked there for one summer and absolutely hated it because I had never worked construction before and I decided to start construction in Texas summer.
Oh,
Like my first day was July.
And so what were you doing?
So I was just an electrician's apprentice. They called me Shrek because I was the strong guy. Like I've been this size since I was like 14.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so I just was strong, and they were all older guys that didn't want to carry anything anymore. So I just would carry the bundles of conduit up the stairs and stuff like that.
You.
Oh, dude, it was still super fun. I just hated it because, one, I had never had to wake up at 5 a.m. before in my life on a daily basis. So to this day, the iPhone alarm that goes, bah, bah, it literally makes me sick to my stomach if I hear it.
So how do you wake up then?
I have a nice little jingle.
Nice.
A little tranquil wake up, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, so did that for 3 months. We're pulling big wire, running fiber optic in the, I don't even remember what they're called anymore, but like Kendorf strut, and then hangers. And that's when I first started running hangers. Yeah. And I had this one guy, Mike, who was really cool, but I feel like he got me ready for being an apprentice because he was the typical like construction hand that was like, best part of you ran down your mama's leg, boy. You know what I mean? Like always talking crap to you and just making you feel worthless all the time. And I hated it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm really appreciative of it because he made me have really thick skin. And I'm just glad now. It's funny. You look back, you're like, I hated that guy at the time because I was like, you just don't ever shut up, man. You just don't ever leave me alone. But did that for 3 months. Didn't like it. My brother-in-law was a plumber at a local plumbing company that he's still at now. He's actually the service manager now. And he was like, well, we're hiring. You know, I'll match what you said they were going to give you, the 13, or they can match that. And so I got hired on there and worked there for like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. Yeah. And then I just started chasing money because I had a kid and I needed money, and I was spending money like an idiot. Instead of changing my spending habits, I just chased more money. Yep. Because that's blue collar logic, right? Don't change your spending habits, just go make more money.
Yep.
So I would leave for like 50 cents. Yeah. Like that guy, the guy that I hate now.
Yeah.
As an owner, you know, I'm like, that's what I was telling you, those owners, I'm like, hey, that's my bad.
Yep. Sorry, man.
My bad.
Yep.
But, and then I jumped from a few shops here and there, and then I went union, and then I was a union apprentice for about a year, and then the shop I was at got slow, and then I went back to that company where my brother-in-law works. I went back there 3 times. Thank God they took me back each time. They're kind of like family. The owner, his name's Perry, one of my biggest mentors. Like, love that guy. He's passed away now. He had cancer, but yeah, he was a great man. But anyway, so worked at a few shops like that, and then as a journeyman went back to the union and bought my book and worked for a really good company for about a year. And then I was like, I really want to start working towards owning a business. So, but I knew I didn't know how to manage people. Like I knew how to manage a team, but not like a manager, like a foreman. Mm-hmm. More like these are my homies, these are my guys, and we go do jobs. Yep. You know, but like a manager. So I got a job as a superintendent for a plumbing company that does residential new construction, like tract homes. Yep. Super easy gig, but it taught me how to have time management. It taught me how to manage multiple crews. Like I think at the time we were slammed. I had like 80 houses at any given time that I was over. Granted, they could sit for a month and you go to the next one, but it was still pretty slammed. Yeah. So it really taught me how to communicate with contractors, how to communicate with customers, how to communicate with guys. I learned how to speak most of the Spanish that I know through that job. Nice. I speak job site Spanish. You know? So like the pipe goes there. La pipa pa allá.
Gotcha. I thought you were just going to say cuss words.
Oh, no. Those were learned early.
Right on.
But so then I quit my job there and I started this company. Yeah. And I started it all because I am debilitatingly competitive. Yeah. One of my really, really good friends, Cameron McInnes.
I know Cameron.
I know you do. Yeah. He was in your program.
Yeah.
That's my dog. That's my dude. He calls me. I can still see it. I'm in my Tahoe driving down Highway 46 from Bandera to Bernie. And he's like, I got my LLC. I got my master. I'm going. I literally hung up with him. I looked at my wife. I was like, we're starting a company. If he can do it, I'm starting a damn company. Like, I'll be damned if he starts a company and I don't get a company too.
He doesn't seem competitive at all.
No. He's very analytical, very thought out, very like
slow and steady.
Slow and steady wins the race. And I am freaking, let's do it. Let's go. Let's as fast as possible. Let's go. But yeah, so I got literally 5 minutes later, I had an LLC and I had a master plumber that was willing to rent out his license to me.
Nice.
Ready to go. And then, so I worked at that construction job or the residential new construction gig and ran the company for like 3 or 4 months just because I didn't have enough clientele to be comfortable to quit yet.
Yep.
And then I quit. And like I was telling you, the day I quit, we didn't get a call for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I was losing it. Yep. Like 4 kids, wife at the house. She doesn't work. We have no money. I either make this work or we're screwed. And that was, like I was telling you, that was my first moment of like reaching out to God. Like, I clearly can't do this. I'm not good at this. Here you go. Jesus, take the wheel, homie. Like, come on.
Were you doing any marketing at the time? I mean, you're 3 weeks in.
I've always done some marketing. Like, I'm my biggest cheerleader. But my marketing at that time was hanging out at the Home Depots in the plumbing section, asking people if they needed help to find the parts they needed so that I could say, here's how you do this, this, and this. And they realized how complicated it was.
Yep.
So then I could be like, you know what? I could just come over right now. I actually own a plumbing company.
Did that work?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I made a lot of money doing that. But it dried up once I quit my job. Didn't get a call for 3 weeks. And then gave it all to God. Literally the next day, we've been booked since. Like, we've been solid. And got into the bad habit of like liking to see multiple weeks booked out and not hiring anybody because I was like, I got a full schedule, baby. Yeah. And then realizing that's not the way to do it. But yeah, man, that's how we got to where we are with the company. We ran it out of a 2010 F-150 with a 4.6 V6 motor, baby. 2-wheel drive, hauling mini X's on trailers. Didn't even care.
So you skipped all the tats and like when did all that come in?
Okay. So man, so at 21, that was about when my wife left me.
Were you guys married at the time?
Engaged.
You were engaged.
Engaged.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then, I had gotten some, like my first tattoo, I think I was like 16 or 17, but it was on my back. I think I had 2 or 3 non-visible with a t-shirt on by the time I was 18 or 19. Got them in garages and living rooms.
Yeah.
And I only have probably like 6 tattoos that are at a shop.
like a legit tattoo artist?
Yeah, they were all either like laying on a kitchen table, inside of a garage, in a living room.
Cool.
Literally in a camper, a trailer house.
Nice.
Yeah. Like
nice.
The seedy underworld.
Yeah.
The guy that did my tattoos, his name was Carcass.
Perfect.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yep.
But I just she left, rightfully so. I'm glad she did because it kind of helped me pull out later. But developed a really bad drug habit, developed a really bad drinking habit. Thank the Lord, almost 6 years sober now.
Nice.
Appreciate that. And then 2 years we were separated or broken up, but we had a kid together still, so we still were in each other's lives, obviously. She actually dated another dude for like a year and a half.
That pissed you off?
Well, he was actually my friend in high school.
Are you guys still friends?
No. It was a whole falling out. I have no ill will against him now. And looking back now, he was a great dude to my daughter because I wasn't a great guy at the time. So I actually am appreciative for the time he was taking care of them. He was a really good dude.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, I've known since the day I met my wife I was going to marry her. Like, I've been in love with that girl. I've been obsessed with her since day one.
Yeah.
Like, So developed all those bad habits. Still didn't get sober, but like was like, hey, I really want you back. I want to see my kid every day. I want to see you every day. We get back together. She moves back into my apartment with me. Still got the bad habits for a long time after that. But just started getting covered in tattoos, like hands, knuckles, arms. My whole back is done. My chest, just covered. And it's funny because now I'm like, I don't want to get a single tattoo ever again. It hurts too bad. I'm such a pansy. My back is halfway done, and it's been halfway done for 2 years.
I got my first tattoo, my son's name, when I was pretty young.
Yeah.
I was like 17.
Yeah.
And then I went to go get buddy tattoos with a friend of mine, and I got these dumb little stars up here. and then he didn't get his tattoo.
Oh,
until like
that's
years
lame,
later,
dude.
like 2 years later, he goes back to get a tattoo, and he gets he gets like a half sleeve done. I'm like, dude, that is not a buddy tattoo.
Yeah, that's not the same, man.
I got screwed.
You went up to me by a lot.
Yeah. And so I didn't get any more tattoos mainly because I was broke as a joke. But
Yeah. Oh, dude,
I
was
couldn't
broke
afford
and
them.
I was stealing money to get tattoos.
Yeah, well, I didn't do that. So
Yeah. It's a little different when you're high and drunk.
yeah. So I went back. My daughter's 18. I literally just got her name tattooed like a year ago.
That's funny.
And dude, I was not scared of the pain, or I don't remember this hurting that bad.
Yeah.
And I went back to get this tattoo, and I was like, I don't think I want any more tattoos.
It's no joke.
It is no joke.
The older I get, I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting soft in my old age, but
You must, yeah.
I'm like, I could fall asleep when they were tattooing me.
Dang.
Yeah, like on my arms and stuff. I'm not like, let's not act all gangster.
Yeah.
When they did my chest, I'm drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
When they did my back, I'm like crying. Like, please be done.
Yep.
but yeah, just tons of tattoos. I don't really regret anything. I've never really been subscribed to that.
Yeah.
I think if you regret something, that just means you got to deal with something.
It's the sum of who you are today.
It
All
happened.
those experiences, yeah.
I don't own a time machine, so until that happens, no regrets.
I don't have any regrets ever.
Yeah. I mean, I may regret like the things I did to people that hurt them or like stuff like that, but like dumb choices I made.
Yeah.
Everybody's dumb at some point in their life, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, just going through life that way, working for people. And I knew that I wanted to own something.
Why? Like,
because I wanted to give myself and my kids a life that, and not that my parents were not hardworking or didn't provide a great life, but like a financially free life, because they're both teachers. We all know teachers don't get paid crap. They deserve way more, you know. That's why we do year-round discounts for educators, because I've got a soft spot for educators. I was raised by them.
yeah.
But I just knew that like I didn't want to ever have to worry about money. I didn't want that to even be a problem that existed.
Yep.
Because not that I ever saw my parents fight about money. It was never really about that. It was, I saw things that other kids had or trips that they went on with their family that I was like, dang, I'd really like to go to Hawaii with my parents.
Yeah.
Like, not that like I'm mad they couldn't provide that, mad that we didn't get to experience it.
Yep.
And I just knew, for some reason, the only way to get that was I had to own something.
Yeah.
I had to own and do something. Like I tried a general contracting business when I was like 17 or 18, knew nothing about what I was doing. And I did like one job and failed,
Yep.
you know, but I knew I wanted to own something. I knew it. And I fought plumbing for a really long time. Like it took me like 6 years before I finally took my journeyman test, because I just was like, I'm not going to be a plumber the rest of my life. I'm better than that.
It's
like,
not the sexiest
yeah,
trade.
yeah.
No.
You know, it's like, I don't know. For some reason, I just thought there was no way I could make a lot of money in it. It just, because the way it's viewed from people that don't know, it's like, oh, your butt cracks out. All you do is deal with poop.
Yep.
You know? So, but even being an apprentice, a plumbing apprentice, was like, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. But I'm like, it's just dumb. But finally fell in love with it because I realized I was good at it. You know, it was the only trade that I was actually decent at. But I really didn't even get decent at it until like I became a journeyman, because as an apprentice, I just didn't care because I had no responsibilities.
I thought I was good at it when I was an apprentice.
Oh, so did I. I thought I was the jam.
Yep.
I'm the number one apprentice, baby.
Yep. And
no.
then I became a journeyman, and I was like, man, I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
I better shut up. Yep.
Yeah. See, you're smart. I didn't shut up.
Yep.
I am confident and to a fault, even when I know I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, came a journeyman. I love it. I'm taking my master's test really soon. I still have a master's that I pay monthly to be able to use his license, but I'm going to get mine.
What do you pay him? Do you mind sharing?
I don't think he wants me to share on here.
Okay. Was that a relationship that you had?
He was one of my mentors in the union.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Great guy.
Yeah.
Amazing guy. I owe that guy a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. He's got a fat check coming his way as soon as I stop and I use my master's license.
Cool.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind sharing, but I don't know if he,
I know
out of respect for him.
Oh, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. I just know a lot of people want to start a plumbing business, but they don't have the licensing.
Yeah. Dude, again, another blessing. Like he helped me a lot.
Cool.
Like, yeah. He was like, get your feet under you. Get this going.
Just because he liked you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Like we clicked early. He was my teacher at the hall.
Oh, cool.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
And he just took me under his wing immediately. It was weird. Like, had no reason to do it. I really wasn't that good of a kid.
You're you're a good dude.
I
like you have the
that.
good dude nature to you.
I appreciate that.
You're just a likable dude.
I just try not to be fake.
Yeah.
That's my only thing.
I mean, maybe
I try
that's
not
what
to
it
be
is.
fake.
Yeah.
I just try to be genuine. If you like me for me, cool. If you don't, I get it. Some people don't like me.
Yep.
But yeah, he's a great dude. He took great care of me. He's still taking good care of me. But yeah, so I'll have my master's this year. It'll be my number on my company, which is crazy to think about.
Cool.
I'm super pumped about it. But yeah, we're super blessed, man. I'm stoked.
So you started it as a competition.
Yeah. I'm just super competitive
between you and Cameron.
Everything. He didn't even know we were in a competition.
Well, so
I'm creating this in my head.
So honestly, that's like what made me grow my company so fast was I found another guy who was a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily a competitive person, but man, I love to freaking win.
Yeah.
So if I create the competition, I gotta win. I don't lose.
Yeah.
And so that's like we were talking earlier, the stubbornness in me. I'm not losing.
Yeah.
And so
you're gonna have to kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna have to kill me.
Divorced, my kids will hate me, and we living in a hole before I lose. And that's
that's
like
definitely something I wrestle with too. The pride of it.
Yeah,
it's like, all right.
I don't know if it's pride or not and it's only in certain things for me.
Really?
Yeah, like some things I could care less. Like team sports, I could care less if I lose. I don't care at all.
Yeah.
But for some reason, so I picked a guy. I got, he was a little bit further ahead than me.
Yeah.
Had a few more guys than me.
Yeah.
And he was moving fast. And I was like, I'm going to beat him.
I like that.
And he was moving so fast that I had to move fast. Like he bought 2 vans, so I went and bought 2 vans. He spent 10 grand in ads, so I spent 10 grand in ads.
I like that.
And it helped a lot.
Well, I told you that's like what you did for me without even knowing it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because whenever I had my consultation call with your brother for marketing, shout out Mammoth Marketing.
Yeah.
He had told me what you were doing and where you'd gotten it to, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do better than that. I was like, I'll call you in a year and watch. I'm gonna be 10 times better. It's not that I don't want anyone else to succeed. I actually want everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
I just want to succeed so bad that I'm willing to go way farther than y'all are.
Yeah.
Like that kind of deal. Like y'all get scared. I will push into fear.
Yep.
Because I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to go back to that life of like being like, well, let's put $20 in the tank instead of filling it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it sucks.
Yeah. It's the worst.
The most miserable I have ever been is when I'm spending what I'm making.
Yes.
There's no gap between
check to check is the worst feeling in the entire world.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with anybody going through that.
Yeah.
But I don't sympathize with you to the point of you shouldn't change it. You need to change it. You need to do something.
Totally. Yep.
Figure it out. Do something. Like this country is nuts on what you can make money with.
It is. Most people are too scared.
It is.
They're scared of failure.
It is terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So before you got here, I had an interview with a guy.
Yeah.
And he was wanting to start his own bakery, and he actually started it, but he was like like he couldn't get it going. He needed a job in the meantime.
Yeah.
Long story short, I was like, well, don't quit. And he was like, why? And I was like, the only difference between winners and quitters are winners don't quit, or winners and losers. Losers quit, winners don't.
Because it's the easiest choice. It's way easier to choose to quit than to not quit.
It's way easier. But you ask anybody who was successful, and they will say, the only reason I'm successful is because I failed and I didn't quit.
Yeah.
I got knocked down and I got right back up again and got knocked down again.
Yep.
I can't remember what I was reading. I was either reading or listening to something, and it was a dude talking about business and how most people who succeed actually aren't the smartest, because most smart people would quit before they were successful, right? It takes somebody with a little stupidity.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
agree
like,
100%.
I'm like,
That's
yeah,
a
I can
great
relate.
point.
I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I don't think things through all the way.
Yeah.
I just refuse to quit.
Yeah.
That was
I
probably
think you
my
got to
greatest
have that
asset.
grit. You got to have that grit.
So I got a ride home today I took an Uber back to my house.
Yeah.
After I got to work, I had to drop off. Got the third dude wash truck today. Picked it up this weekend. Dropped it off for stickers. Had to take an Uber back to get my van from my house.
Nice.
It was dude was some sort of Secret Service.
Oh, sick.
And he was telling me a story. He used to manage like some thing in Secret Service, and he was talking about how men are a bunch of wussies nowadays.
Yeah.
And he actually got a job afterwards, and he was like a manager of this team. And he said he had to quit because he had grown ass men working for him. He had to tell them how to do their job. And he said it drove him insane. He said, in the Secret Service, I say, let's go, and we're going.
Yeah.
And everybody's
It's on.
going. It's on.
Yeah.
These guys are boom with a flick of a switch. And I asked him, I said, is that something that you have to train these guys to do? Or is this what you're like, how you're choosing people? Like they can't get in that position unless they're like that. And he goes, it's funny you asked that. We used to call it something that people, like we believe it was something that people had in them.
Yep.
And we called it the dog.
Yeah.
And we'd say, you got the dog in you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a good one. I kind of
Like
like
the
that.
it factor.
Yeah.
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 I agree. I think that's true. I think you either have it or you don't have it.
So I used to think that anybody could do anything. And that belief has been broken multiple times in my head.
Yep.
Just dealing with I worked with a guy plumbing.
Yeah.
I used to think anybody could be a plumber because I'm not smart.
It's definitely not for everybody.
I was a pretty decent plumber. And dude, this guy he literally couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, not everybody can be a plumber.
Yeah.
And then I used to think anybody could be a business owner. And I think probably one of the biggest mistakes, and I've even said it too, like if I did it, you can do it. And it's partly true, but it's partly not true because
I know what you mean.
I've
said the same thing.
Yeah.
And been like,
because you feel like you didn't do anything special.
Exactly.
You just like
I just did this thing.
Yeah, you just did some stuff and it worked out and you got a little bit lucky and it's
Yeah.
like, man, anybody could do this. It wasn't even that hard, right?
Yeah.
Or it was hard, but it wasn't impossible, which
Yeah.
means anybody should be able to do it. But after seeing lots of businesses over the last couple of years, there's definitely guys who should just go work for somebody else
Yeah, for sure.
because they can't.
And it's nothing against them as a person, their character, or anything. It's just nobody could have ever prepared me for the level of stress that is owning a business. Like it's a different kind of stress that's like,
Yeah.
you can't explain it.
Yep.
You can't prepare for it.
Nope.
You can't even understand it until you're in it.
Yep.
It's almost like having a kid. It's like, you just got to have a kid.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yep.
You know, like to the point of like if you want to feel like your whole entire world's going to shatter on an hourly basis
Yep.
and change from that to you're a king
Yep.
in an hour,
Yep.
that's as close as I can get to explaining it.
Yep.
1 minute you have 20 grand in your account, the next minute you have $3.
Yep.
And you have to be cool with that.
Yep.
You have to be like, yeah, that's what happens when you run a business. Tomorrow when I get paid for whatever, it'll be back up, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I can tell you right now, it's so funny because Chris Copeland, the guy I was telling you about that pretty much has been mentoring me and helping me through all of this. Like I owe him a lot, honestly, probably I owe him the most because he's stopped me from making dumb first time owner decisions so many times. Yep. And he has taken my phone calls like every single day for 2 years. Like, that's hey, cool. this, and this, I need advice. Okay, do this.
That's cool.
Like, doesn't gatekeep anything.
Yep.
We talk constantly. Like, he's become a very good friend of mine, and I don't think I'd be here without him for sure.
Yep.
And it's funny, crazy because he's in the same market.
Yeah, you probably think you owe him the world, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he would probably want nothing more than just for you to do the same for somebody else.
He literally told me, he was like, we were talking about this, and he was like, dude, if you're charging a premium rate for a premium product, now we just get to compete on service.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're a cheap ass and you're lowballing all of us, all that does is hurt me.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'd rather teach you to get to this point and charge a premium price for a premium service.
Yep.
And then now we get to see whose customer service experience is better and really compete, which is my favorite thing in the world. Customer service is my jam.
We need more people like that.
Yeah.
The problem is,
dude's a gem.
Well, yeah.
He's rare.
The problem with like the whole trade in general is we have a low opinion publicly, like low public opinion. So then people have, and it's because we've earned that opinion.
Yeah. We've allowed it to get there.
Yeah. We've allowed it. And so being a plumber is no longer this professional. It's not a profession. It's like it's not a job that anybody wants to go do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then in turn, customers expect to pay less, and then we go charge them less and send non-professional people to their homes. Then it just perpetuates the cycle.
We're just reassuring what they already have thought.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all we're doing.
That's it. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
And then just becomes a problem, more of a problem.
And that's the problem, like in Bandera. That's why we're so loved in Bandera, is because there is companies that are in Bandera who don't charge anything.
Yep.
But customers think they're crazy expensive because their service is bad.
Yeah.
And nothing against them. I'm not trying to like trash anybody in any way.
Yep.
Just there's a reason that when we show up to the house, the first thing the customer says is, "Oh my God, you actually showed up." Or when my CSR answers the phone, "Oh my God, you actually answered the phone?"
Yeah.
"Oh my God, you're scheduling me today and not 3 weeks out?"
Yep.
Like stuff like that. Like if you're a construction plumbing company, like one of another guy that like he owns a residential construction plumbing company in Bandera, and he throws us service work when they're slammed. So he's awesome. He throws me tons of work.
Cool.
But it's because he believes in what I'm trying to do. He sees the level of service that we provide to our customers. He's like, yeah, I'll vouch for that guy any day. Like any construction jobs that I get, they go to him or my other buddy, Nathan, that owns a construction plumbing company in Pipe Creek.
Yeah.
Like we help, everybody helps each other, but it's these other companies that want to like, act like we're the bad guys or we're highway robbery. Well, you know what highway robbery is? You telling the customer that you're going to be there at 8 a.m. and you showing up at noon acting like you did nothing wrong.
Yep.
You screwed that person because they took time off of their work and didn't get paid so that you would show up. And now you showed up 4 hours late, so they got to take the whole day off. And now what if they can't pay their electric bill now?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like to me, you're an absolute scumbag for doing that rather than me for charging a premium price.
I agree.
Because all my prices are honest and they're upfront, and I don't do any work without them seeing the prices and agreeing to it.
Yep.
I don't just start working and then be like, all right, well, it's time material, so here's how much it is.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
It's like that story. I don't know if I heard it from you or someone else, but it was if I walked into Walmart with a grocery list of 30, it was you, right?
I think that's Mitch Smedley.
Mitch Smedley. There, yeah. 35 items, and they say, give me that. And they go get it, and they bring you the basket. All right, here, pay.
Yep.
But like in Texas, we have H-E-B, greatest grocery store ever, by the way.
HEB.
Henry Edward Butt. The Butt family.
Okay.
Billionaires. But great. It's like, you've been to Buc-ee's, right?
Yeah.
It's Buc-ee's if Buc-ee's was a grocery store.
Oh, cool.
It is the best.
Cool. I'll check it out next time I'm over there.
But so you go into HEB and you walk the 180 freaking aisles they have where there's 37 different kinds of peanut butter, and you leave with 60 items. Who got the better experience?
Yeah.
The people that spent more money had a better time.
Yep.
Like, I fully believe, obviously there's some customers, just because of their lifestyle and their situation, that price is number one. It doesn't matter how good the experience is. Price is 100% number one.
Yep.
Those, nothing against them in any way. They're just not the customers that we are after.
Well,
We're after the ones that expect value and really, really, really appreciate value.
so I agree with you 100%. One thing that we found with prospectors is that they would call the cheaper companies out. They would do a Band-Aid fix, and they'd end up having to call them out again 6 months later. Had they hired us to fix it right the first time, it was actually cheaper for the customer.
Yep.
And so we would have customers call us, like the people in Alaska, they'll literally go install like a $20,000 boiler system, and it's complete garbage. The customer goes through a winter and it doesn't heat their house properly because it's not installed correctly.
Yeah.
So then they call us and pay us $40,000 to rip it out and redo it. And they're like, I should have called you from the beginning and paid you double because at least it's installed properly.
Yep.
And now I ended up paying 60 grand. Like, stories like that get out, and all of a sudden you've got the customers who are price, worried, calling you because they know that you're going to be more expensive now, but in the long run, it's going to save them money.
Buy once, cry once.
Yeah, buy once, cry once. Yeah.
I mean, that's just like, it's the same thing with a car.
Yeah.
If one of your tires has the metal threads coming out of it,
Yep.
and the others are just bald, but don't have metal threads coming out of it, replace all four.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to go back to this freaking place, sit in line at Discount Tire, and get them replaced one by one, multiple freaking times.
Yep.
Let's do it all right now. We're ready to go. We're going to give you service right now.
The way I grew up, though, I replaced the one tire, the one tire.
Same.
100%.
Yeah.
And I didn't I bought an old Chevy truck, and I bought it for like $6 grand. It was a 97 Chevy Silverado.
Yep.
And it had 200,000 miles on it.
Yep.
And I probably put another 30 grand into it.
Dude, I just stopped doing that like a year ago.
Dude, I bought a brand new car for my wife, and I sold that pickup, and the payment on the car was cheaper than fixing the truck.
Yep.
And now
now you don't have a maintenance bill.
Yeah. And my whole life, I'm like, car payments are bad.
Yep.
So I'm not going to get a car payment. So I'm going to go buy a truck that I can afford. And then I'm just going to fix it when it breaks. Just stupid.
Not knowing that it's going to break every month.
Dude, it broke.
It breaks every month, and you spend every month fixing it.
Dude.
What that monthly payment would be.
Just the time involved.
Yeah. You know how many times I've stayed up till 3 a.m. right before I have to go to work the next day to fix my truck to get to work?
Yeah. That's stupidity. Right
Yeah,
there,
it's dumb.
Yep.
It's dumb. Had I just learned how to spend money better, wouldn't have been in that situation. But of course, hindsight's 20/20. I can't sit here and act like, oh, I knew it and I chose not to. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had a completely different thought process. But
Yep.
but yeah, dude, nothing drives me up a wall worse than a company that wants to talk down on us for our price. I'm like, you're telling me that you would rather get bad reviews about how crappy your service is and how rude your guys are and how late you were to jobs rather than they were really expensive, but they were awesome.
Yep.
I would way rather get that than any day of the week be like, hey, your guys sucked. You were late. You showed up the day later. You pushed me off, this, that, and the I don't ever want that review. If I get that review, that customer's getting a call right then and there, and we're going to figure out why the heck that just happened, because that's not how we do business.
Yep.
I refuse. And I remember the first time I got a 1-star review for price, I copied Prospector's response.
Yeah.
We decided a long time ago that we would rather defend our prices than defend shoddy work.
Yep. Substandard work.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's how I respond, because I truly believe that. I truly feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, people think there's a reason there's Ferraris and Hondas. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason they exist.
Yep.
People see the value in a Ferrari. People see that they have a Honda. So, okay, it's cheap. I'll get by, that kind of, like, there's a reason these things exist. Plumbing's no different than any other industry in this world. Like, every industry is the exact same. It's just a different product. Plumbing is my product. And I just so happen to be really, really good at delivering it in the way that best fits customers, to where they're like, you know what? This was so awesome. I don't have to worry about this ever again. Like, I had a customer on Tuesday tell me, she said, I'd rather spend $100,000 with you to get a 20-year fix than spend $500 20 times to get a 6-month fix each time.
Oh, yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, I'm going to cry, because that is the greatest thing I've ever heard. I was like, can you just like buy a million houses and let me service all of them?
Please.
Because she understands. She understands what I'm bringing to the table.
That's a customer who values her time.
Yeah. We offer same-day service.
Yeah.
There's not another company in Bandera that can do that.
Yeah.
Or does do that. And if they do, I don't know about it, because our customers are calling us. Like, we do a lot of work in the Hill Country. People love us. People leave it. We've been in business for 2 years. You know, I know Mitch is wild. He's got like 1,000 reviews and whatever, but we've been in business for 2 years. We got a 4.9 rating with over 200 reviews.
Yeah.
That's, you look at any other plumbing company or any other company, it's usually like 175 in 2 years, because they don't push it.
Yep.
You know, I know that reviews matter. So I want good reviews. The way you get good reviews is give good customer service. Yep. It all comes back to customer service.
Yep.
You know, like, I don't preach on sales. I don't like harp on sales, or I really don't even like full on focus on it. You have to focus on it because it's a business. That's part of it. But I realized that if you focus on giving the greatest customer service experience ever, the sales automatically follows.
Yeah.
Because either you can't afford to give the service you're giving, or you're priced right and the sales follow.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not priced right, that's a very different story.
Yeah.
I was $98 an hour time and material when I first started my company. Because I remember I did what you did. I was like, okay, that shop's $100 an hour. Well, I'm going to be $2 an hour less.
Yep. So are those guys still charging that?
No,
like your competition?
No. There's people that still charge that.
Yeah.
But as far as them, I don't think so. I don't even think they're in business.
Yeah. Well, we know why.
Yeah.
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 With Prospector, when I started charging higher rates than everybody else, at first we got these guys are ripping everybody off. They're not going to be in business. They're not going to last.
Because it's new.
But then once we became the biggest company in town and demanded the majority of the call volume, then they were all like, maybe they're onto something. And they all started charging more.
Good.
And then we started getting some, hey, thanks for like coming in and charging these ridiculous prices, because now I charge half of what you charge.
Thanks for doing what we were too scared to do.
Yeah, and it's 3 times what I was charging. Yeah.
And I don't make me sound like it was easy. It's hard to get used to those prices.
Oh yeah.
Especially as a plumber that grew up the way we grew up. Like, in your head, you're like, oh, I would never pay this much for anything.
Yep.
And now I'm like, I'd pay 10 times that for this same experience.
Yeah.
You know, because I understand now. Yep. But it's hard to get used to. Man, it took me like 6 months of like beating my face against the wall. Like, how am I gonna charge this? Like, and it's not like you're making 100% profit.
Yeah.
You know, you're still making your 20% net.
Yep.
Which is where you should be, instead of your 3% net.
I mean, sometimes starting out, you're charging a lot and you're making no net. I mean, that was my case. I didn't make any money.
Yeah, you got van payments and
Yeah, it was 2 years. I took all the money I made and I reinvested it back in the business. And everybody was looking at me like I'm a gazillionaire.
Yeah.
And
just because you have stuff.
Just because I have stuff.
You're like, you realize I have to pay the monthly payments on these, right?
Yeah.
You realize I have to have $5,000 every time I wrap a van.
Yeah. You realize my plumbers cost me about $180,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah.
Each. Yeah. Not plural. one plumber.
Yeah. You realize we spend $350,000 on advertising every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're at 360.
For advertising.
Yeah. Cause I have 3 guys, me and 2 other guys. Yep. And luckily these new guys that I found, man, and I, you know, maybe it's bad, but I'm quick to trust because I don't know. Everybody deserves a chance. Yeah. I'll trust anybody until they show me that I can't trust them.
Same here.
These guys believe in me. They believe in what I'm about. They believe I'm a plumber through and through. Culture means more to me than anything in this world. I created this place to give a place for plumbers to call home and be pumped to go to work at and be like, because I want them to go out in their personal lives and be like, yeah, you wish you worked here. You wish you keep trying to work here. Because it's easy to get an interview with me. It's really hard to get a job with me. Mm-hmm. Like I heard your guys, all the High Tide Plumbing.
Yep.
When he said that, I was like, yes.
Yes.
I was like,
Travis is a rad dude. Yeah.
Yeah. That whole podcast, I've listened to it like 9 times.
That's awesome.
Because I'm so ADHD, I can't retain it all.
Yep.
I got to listen to it multiple times. That's why I listen to sermons like 14 times before I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Ding.
Like, oh yeah, there's that 2x4 up, you know, upside my head. but yeah, man, like I wish guys would stop looking at companies like us and thinking that we are trying to rob their customers.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is show your customers what you should be doing.
Yep.
And I want you to do that. Anyone that calls me that owns a company and wants to talk about this, I don't gatekeep anything because Chris didn't gatekeep anything to me.
Yep.
And he was already successful when I started.
Yeah.
You know? And I know he had people in his ear being like, why are you sharing this with him? Like, he's the competition. Like, it's like, we have 6 plumbers. You think this one man show is our competition? Mm-hmm. Like, we do more jobs in a day than he does in a week.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't gatekeep anything. So I don't gatekeep anything from anybody. You know, another great buddy of mine, Chris McNear, he owns Patriot Plumbing, and he's kind of going through it. You know, right now he had surgery, so he's like, I need to get back to work. But like this, every time we talk, I've shared my bank account with him. Yeah. I'm like, look, this is the company bank account. Doesn't mean that you have this. It doesn't mean that I have this. This is vanity. This is cool. But if we don't have any work for a month, I have this so that I can still afford to pay my guys and they can pay their bills.
Yep. And
I make sure that I pay my guys a lot of money and we don't do on-call. You were the one that changed that for me. We do Saturdays if the guys want to pick up extra work.
Cool.
So we're open on Saturdays. Sundays we're completely closed. Of course, I've worked Sundays and I usually work Sundays, but it's on a computer 7 days a week because I'm too high strung to do anything but something.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like I wish these other companies that are in Bandera or even outside of Bandera would just reach out and be like, I don't understand it and I don't believe you. Convince me. Because I promise you, give me 10 minutes, I'll convince you. I guarantee you I'll convince you.
You might convince them, but then they have to take action on
the implementations, that's on them though. That's not on me.
Yeah, but I can almost 100% guarantee you that 99.9% of them will not take any action on it.
Probably.
I sat down with so many people in my market.
Yeah.
Trying to get them, good friends of mine who own plumbing businesses. And I'm like, dude, come on, I'll show you how to do this.
You have proof.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
And then they just can't get past I don't want to rip the customer off. And I'm like, dude, if I didn't own this company and I didn't live in this town, I would recommend my company to my own grandmother because I know if I send any of these other companies out there, they're not going to do a good job.
Yeah.
But I know my company will. Is it going to cost my grandma a little bit more money? Yeah, but it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah.
I 100% believe
Do we have customers that have asked us, hey, if you ever start doing customer testimonial videos, I want to do that for you.
Oh, dude, you should
without
do them.
Asking them. Oh, we're doing them now. The first time I heard that, I was like, that's a sick idea.
Yeah.
So I already have like 9 lined up.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they asked us.
Yeah, go out there.
Obviously, we're doing something right because I don't know about you, but if I got robbed, I'm not going to be like, hey, can I tell everyone how cool that was?
No. So like Prospector, over 1,000 reviews.
Yeah.
The next company in town has 100, actually it was Ultra, like 250.
Yeah.
And we've got 1,000. Ultra's been in business for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
We were in business for 3. We broke 1,000. I'm like, look, if we were doing something wrong, how did we get these reviews? We would get people thinking.
Yeah, these aren't bots. Like,
we got people like saying, like, we have reviews. If you go look on Prospectors and go to the 1 stars, there'll be people in there like, they must be buying these reviews. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love when I see that because that just tells me I'm doing something right. I love seeing that. I love seeing that because that tells me you don't see value in any aspect of your life with money. No. Like there's nothing like you go to the gas station, you buy a hot dog off the roller, and then you go to the steakhouse like that place we're going, you know.
Yep.
And you're like, nah, I'm gas station. Okay, you go eat rat. I'm gonna go eat some Wagyu. Yeah. Like I see the value here.
Yep.
You know, but I was that guy. That's what they don't understand. They think I'm just born this way. Like, oh, I'm gonna charge this. Like I just told you, we're $98 an hour.
Yeah.
Like making $0.
So what was what made the shift in your brain? Because ultimately it's a mindset issue.
Yeah, it was you.
Oh, that's cool. I'll take that one.
For real, like I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to stroke your ego.
Just me yelling at the camera.
I don't care enough about you to stroke your ego.
I don't have an ego.
Exactly. So like, but you, I don't remember specifically because I've been watching you since you started. Like. You know, and I just remember being like, he would not have this much proof and evidence to show us in these videos if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm the problem.
I would literally have no reason to tell you.
Yeah. You wouldn't have a platform. You would get snuffed out.
Well,
it would be a year or so and people would be like, oh yeah, he's exposed. This guy's full of crap.
The funny part about it is I'll get people that comment like, well, then why are you on here? Like, why are you trying to make money off social media?
You ever exited a company?
Well, little do they know, like none of I'll spill the beans right now.
Yeah.
None of this makes any money.
Yeah.
Like it's solely to give back.
Yeah.
It's never made money.
Yeah.
And the second it makes money, we spend it on getting more camera
That's because people attribute
kind of
stuff to success.
True, yeah.
And that's not success in any way, shape, or form. I don't even view money as success. I view freedom as success. My level of success depends on my level of freedom.
I agree. To me, and what I've learned is that so before I started a company, I kept things incredibly simple.
Yep.
Because my money was limited, and I knew that my freedom came from the gap of how much I make and how much I spend.
Yep.
The bigger the gap being I make more than I spend,
yep.
the more free I felt. And so I kept life just like I had a tiny house. I had old cars.
Yeah.
Everything was paid off.
Because that's how you think you have to do it.
2 T-shirts. I still live kind of like that.
You were the minimalist before it was cool.
I was the minimalist. I was. And then I was the minimalist who went and made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I actually struggled for a while because I felt like I should be going and buying all
Makes you feel guilty.
Yeah, like I have all this money or created all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I could care less about, I'm not the cool car guy.
Yeah.
I don't care about my house.
Yeah.
Honestly, the smaller the house, the better off.
Yeah.
Just want a bed and a roof.
Yeah.
It's really
I just want as much land as I could possibly have. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably the only cool thing I spent my money on is my land.
Yeah.
And a shooting range.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dude, as soon as I saw you post, I was like, oh, dude, that's so dope.
It is fun. Yeah.
As soon as I saw you post, I was like, okay, we're going to put that in the notes on the iPhone, have a gun range at your house.
Yeah. We had a cool gun range in Alaska where we could go and you basically just show up and get a whole open bay to yourself and you can do whatever you want. And then move down here and they've got that. But on the weekends, a bunch of old dudes go there and take up all the bays.
Yeah.
And they let them in before it opens.
Yeah.
So you literally can't get in there.
Yeah.
So you have to shoot during the week, and then none of your friends can shoot with you because, well, none of my friends can shoot with me anyway because they're all broke, but they can't shoot with you because it's, during the week you're trying to go shoot. And
I just don't understand. I'll never understand because I used to think this way and I still don't understand why, but like instead of seeing someone who is financially free and saying, how do I get there? That's awesome. Saying, well, they're probably not happy. Like money doesn't buy you happiness. Well, I'm here to tell you it helps a little. It helps a little. Maybe not happiness, but it definitely takes some stress away.
Well, I can tell you that not having enough money definitely makes you unhappy.
Way more than money makes you happy.
Yes.
It's like I hate losing more than I love winning.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
Like I told my wife, she asked me, she's like, what would you do if the company went under? I was like, immediately start another company.
Yeah.
Immediately start. I'll never go back to work for another human being ever again.
Yep.
I will never, ever, ever again ask another grown man for time off.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
That's why I give my guys PTO instead of this like earned PTO. Like you get an hour every 8 hours or 12 hours you work, whatever it is.
Yep.
I tell them, if you want time off, just tell me the dates.
Yeah.
I'm not God. I don't get to control you.
Yep.
You work for me. You're not mine to keep.
Yeah.
Like I'll never have them like you're not going to ask me for permission to take off.
Yep.
Like just tell me the dates ahead of time and we're good.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell nope, it's not approved. No. Like what power trip crap would that be?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the only reason I could think of doing that is if we scheduled a big job and you confirmed it already. You're going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. If we schedule like a whole house repipe and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I got you. And then 2 days before you're like, hey, I want to take vacation. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
you and I both know that this is not cool.
True.
You know?
Yes.
But that's like few and far between. Right. But just, man, I'm a plumber through and through. I am creating a company for a home for plumbers. And I will take over the absolute labor force, workforce of plumbing in the San Antonio area. I promise you that. It's going to happen because I'm going to pay guys better than anyone else does. And as soon as you pay better, I'm going to pay more.
Yeah.
Because my guys don't work 100 hours a week. We work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and they make thousands of dollars a week because they deserve it.
Yep.
They're sacrificing so much of their time away from their family and away from their children and their wives. Their wives aren't able to stay home and raise their kids because they have to work.
Yep.
Like, no. I just hired a guy that I'm praying that he turns into the service manager because his goal that he said to me, which sold me on him. He was like, I want my wife to be able to be a stay-at-home wife. And I was like, let's go. We're in. I will get you there. Because cool, every guy I hire, I'm like, I want to know your goals. I want to know your occupational goals. I want to know your personal goals, your financial goals, your marital goals.
Yep.
I want to make sure your marriage is good. I want to make sure your relationship with your kids is phenomenal. I want to make sure you're leading your kids the way that a man should lead his kids.
Yep.
You know, you want to be an abusive, loudmouth guy, you're fired.
Yep. You
want to treat your kids like crap, you're fired. You want to cheat on your wife, you're fired.
Yep.
Like I refuse to have those kind of people in my company.
Yep.
Every guy that I hire has to mesh well with every person at the company because I want to bring back what I had at the first company I worked at with my brother-in-law where we were all homies.
Yep.
And we hung out. I haven't seen that in a company in years.
Yeah.
And it's because this new wave of like sales, do 500 in a month as a one tech guy, like, and then they just pit them against each other. And it's like, if you're selling 200 grand a month for 6 months and then you have 180 grand a month, they're like, well, we might let you go. It's like, bro, come here. I'll give you a bonus for that.
Yeah.
Like I'll write you a freaking check right now for that.
Yep.
You do that much, I'll write you a bonus.
Yep.
Like you do 200 and then 180, I'll still write you a bonus for the 180.
Hell yeah.
Like what are you talking about, dude? Like these guys treat these plumbers like we're not a rare commodity.
We are a rare commodity.
Plumbers are about to get way more expensive because a lot of dudes are about to retire.
Yes, they are.
A lot of dudes.
So, yes, two things. Did you hear Tom Howard? You know who Tom Howard is?
Mm-mm.
You should check him out on YouTube.
Okay.
Good channel. Everybody should. If you listen to this, check out Tom Howard. His videos aren't as cool as mine, but he's a smart guy.
I believe it.
Owns a much bigger company, much smarter than me. He said,
just not cooler videos in any way.
Dude, he's got one video. He's standing in his kitchen. I don't remember what it's called, but he's like, we don't have a labor shortage problem. And I'm like, ooh, I like this. What's he going to say? He goes, we have a pay problem.
Yep.
The problem is Nobody wants to come do the shitty work you're asking them to do because you're not paying them enough.
Yes.
So start freaking charging your customer more so you can pay people well.
Yes.
And he had the best analogy. He was like, if you put out a job ad that said $1 million an hour for plumbers, how many
Watch
plumbers,
how many people sign up.
how many plumbers would you get applying?
I might sell the company and go work for him.
It would solve your labor shortage, right? He's like, we don't have a labor shortage.
Yeah.
We just have to charge people enough to be able to pay people well.
We just don't have anyone coming in to the trade because people are paying apprentices the same as fast food workers.
Correct. Yeah.
Like literally, there is a local Texas franchise, like a McDonald's style thing called Bill Miller Barbecue.
Yep.
And they start people, I want to say they start people at like 15 to 17, something like that. Most companies are starting apprentices at 15 to 17.
Plumbers here.
Why
make
would
25,
they play with someone's poop for the same amount of money as a dude who could work a chicken tender fryer and listen to jam out on his AirPods all day?
Plumbers here make $25 an hour. There's literally a sign at Buc-ee's down the road.
Yeah.
They need people to work for $35 an hour.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. My daughter works out at the beach making smoothie bowls, literally on the beach.
I remember you talking about this.
She makes more than plumbers do here.
Yeah. That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
That's completely asinine.
She's literally in high school making more than even me when I first started as a plumber in Alaska, where we get paid a lot more. It's ridiculous. And it all boils back to that we have given the customer that choice to underpay plumbers because we have all these businesses not charging enough.
Yep.
And it's all mindset, but there's a lot of minds to change.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, when we were talking before we got on the camera, it was like, when I said it's so easy, it's like, yes, it is, but it's also not. Like, I don't want this to sound like two dudes preaching from some high horse, like, just do this and you're awesome, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to change some generational way of thinking, and it's hard, but not doing anything about it is way worse.
It is way worse. I agree. What are some of the, tell me about some of the struggles you've had so far.
Employees was the biggest one. I think I fell short as a leader up until literally like just now, because I think I didn't set guys up for success. I paid them really, really well, but like I had a half-ass finished price book. Like I had it was just unorganized, and guys don't want to work for a dude that doesn't have it figured out, because then they're like, well, crap, if he doesn't have it figured out, like, am I still gonna have a job? You know what I mean? Like, luckily I've never not been able to pay my guys. Whoever's working for me has always gotten a Christmas bonus. Yeah. Like a minimum of $1,000 after taxes. I make sure that they're paid, but it wasn't like the most cohesive place to work because I was just so scatterbrained all the time. You know, like I just had a guy quit after 30 days out of nowhere, really thought he was going to be here for the long haul. Still to this day, don't know what I did. Blocked me on everything.
Whoops.
So I'm like, okay, I fell short somewhere. I wish he would tell me so I could fix it, but it's okay. I have no ill will against him at all. I did that to owners. Like, who am I to judge, right? He probably found something way better. He probably found something that he didn't have to more. Right? No. He probably found a place that like he didn't have to call me on every job he went to be like, hey, what should I charge? Because my price book was barely done. Yeah. You know? And I get it, and I feel bad about it. You know, this literally happened a week ago from Saturday. And I'm really thankful that it happened, because it has, again, changed my entire mindset just this week. And then I got blessed to find this guy, Walter, who is now working for me. And he's literally onboarding today while I'm here with you, which is sick, because like a week ago I'd have been like, Jared, I got to cancel. Like, I can't be there. I have to be there. I have to be there. I have to be in control of this. I got to do this. Like, yep. But my sister-in-law is my office manager. She's amazing. Gosh, that woman tolerates me so well and my brain, because she literally will call me like, if you do not give me more work to do and take some off your plate, I'm going to kill you.
Perfect.
Which is what I need. She's a pit bull, man. I have to have someone talk to me that way. Because if not, I'm going to pit bull you, and then I'm in control, and now I don't let you do anything. Yep. But she's like, hey, give me crap to do. You're killing me.
Yeah.
You know, luckily I have her, thank the Lord. But yeah, man, just the that's been a struggle, the employees thing for sure. I got this other guy, Matt, coming on, young kid, 22. He's a tradesman. He's hungry. Like, I interviewed him for 3 hours at my house.
That's cool.
Because it ended up being 2 hours of us just like talking about morals and what we expect out of life and what I expect out of him, but more importantly, what he should expect out of me. And, you know, he at the end of it, I had to say this because I wanted him to really understand where I was mentally now. He was like, man, I really appreciate this opportunity. Like, I really appreciate you believing in me. Like, I'll start early with you and only work 2 or 3 days a week because I want to work for you this bad. And I told him, I was like, dude, I don't think you understand. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to work for me.
Yeah.
Like, that does not go lightly with me, like, at all.
No.
It's a huge thing to accept someone's job offer. You're trusting that human being to cover your bills and make you have a lifestyle that you think is worth living. That's a huge ask.
Yep.
It's not just a job. You should be happy I even gave you a job. Like, kiss my ass.
It's my
I can't stand that.
Biggest fear in life is I wake up and I can't cut checks.
First employee I ever hired 6 months into business, I didn't sleep for 3 days. I'm not even kidding. Ask my wife. That is a true story. Did not sleep for 3 straight days.
Yeah, all of a sudden you feel this weight.
I hired him at noon. At 8 o'clock that night, I'm laying in bed with my wife and I'm staring at my ceiling. And then a thought goes in my head and goes, hey, you're responsible for his bills now. And I went, oh, crap.
Yep.
And I was freaking out.
Yep.
Like, so scared.
Yeah.
You know, but the employees has been hard. I feel like I'm just now getting over the hump on that. I really do. I think God's got a plan for us. I think that I found 2 dudes, and I have another guy that I'm talking to. Funny enough, we went to high school together.
Cool.
Who is hungry and he's tired of that, like, it's never good enough culture.
Yep.
Like, you know, no matter what I do, you're grounded. Like,
that was my second thing for you. We had Ellen Rohr on come talk to our Wealthy Plumber group.
Yeah.
Were you on that call?
No, because I was a one-man show this past week. I've been trying to jump on every freaking call. I've been so pissed.
So she hopped on a little bit ago. You should go listen to it if you
I
remember.
will.
But
yeah,
she said a couple cool. She had a couple really cool pieces of advice. But one thing she said is that you should develop what is good enough to work there, and that you should treat.
Man, that's cool.
You should treat those people just how you treat everybody else.
Yes.
They're part of the team. They are in it.
Yeah.
And figure out what good enough is. Because, like, good enough might be $35K a month.
Yeah.
Good enough might be, I don't know what it is, right?
Yeah. We define it, right?
Yeah. And because we have this tendency as business owners to look at all the guys. If you got one guy doing $1 millionaire, you want all your guys doing $1 millionaire. And everybody who's not doing $1 millionaire is a giant piece of crap.
That's why we're good business owners, because we're never satisfied.
Right. But, you know, not all your employees are like that. And we need, not everybody's like me and you, where we're not satisfied. They might show up to work and do this much work and be totally happy with it.
Yeah.
And we need people like that.
Yeah.
Because those are called employees.
Yeah.
and
literally. Yeah.
We need more of those.
And it's not a degrading thing at all. Like,
no, it's not.
It's not like, haha, you're an employee. No, it's like, I wouldn't have a business without guys like that.
Yeah.
Like, no business would be in business without employees.
Yep.
Or we just have a bunch of one-man show businesses out there.
Right.
You know?
And then she's also said, when focusing on your employees, don't necessarily focus on outcomes, because you can't necessarily change outcomes by focusing on outcomes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, measure your outcomes and make sure you're getting the outcome you want.
Yeah.
But rather than focusing on, like, if you're not producing enough revenue and you're my employee and going, you got to produce more revenue.
Yeah.
How? Doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah.
We need to focus on the habits that create the revenue.
Yeah.
And then start changing those habits.
Yeah.
Because you can teach habits.
Yep.
And people can change habits. And then we can get the outcome that we want.
In my employment agreement form, which I didn't start doing until I heard you say that, it literally says, after it says like the minimum requirements that we talked about, that will be changing when I go home.
Yeah. Yep.
It says failure to meet these minimum requirements will result in a all hands on deck assistance and training in any way the company can help you get to your goals.
Yep. I like that.
It does not say you'll be fired.
Yep.
It does not say you'll be written up. It does not say you'll be sternly talked to.
Yep.
I will not degrade you.
Yep.
I'm going to bring you in the office and be like, hey, is everything cool at home? Are you good? Like,
Yep.
Are your bills good? Like, is everything good with the missus? Like, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Because especially if you're a performer and then you have a really bad week, there's a reason.
Something's going on at home.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah. Because I remember, like, I've had really good months, and then, you know, just like any other marriage, you have a fight or whatever. I don't sell crap that week.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get any jobs that week, you know? And that's why, like, any plumber in San Antonio, shout out San Antonio plumbers, you want to come work at a place that will give you the life that you wish a plumbing company would, call me.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you, I will do whatever it takes to own every single plumber in San Antonio.
Yep.
I'm going to take them from everybody. They can't stop it. They can try. I don't care. I will take everyone from you because I'm going to give them the life that you promised them in an interview and then knew you wouldn't deliver on.
Yep.
We're family owned and operated. My door's always open. Hey, man, I'm having a really tough time with selling. Like, I think I might need some training. Man, you just need to figure it out, dude. Just figure it out. Like, what do you mean you can't sell? Cool, man. Sick. I really appreciate that.
Yep.
Like, you're such a horrible company owner if that's how you treat your guys. Anybody. If you treat anyone that way, that you're a horrible person.
Yep.
Like, maybe not a horrible person. I get a little aggressive. Sorry.
No, you are. You're a terrible person.
I take this very seriously because for these guys to believe in me, I'm a 31-year-old dude who is a plumber. I'm not a business owner. For them to be like the dude that I hired, Walter, and I'm upfront. I'm like, look, bro, we've been in business 2 years. I don't have it all figured out. We're going to go through some growing pains. And like, I need the guy that's here for the long haul and here to go through these pains, but come out on the other side with me and watch what we build. He texted me back. He goes, sounds good, man. Let's freaking build this thing.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm like, let's go. I get all jacked up. I told you I'm high strung, bro. Like this is what I get pumped up talking about because I can't wait until I get to a point where my plumbers come to the office in the morning and they're all laughing because they're like, yeah, this dude tried to hire me. He told me, oh, I'll give you 20% commission plus $10,000 a week. And I told him, get screwed.
Yep.
Because they know that my culture is 1,000 times better.
Yep.
They can't even touch it because I mean what I say.
Yep.
Like, anyone that knows me well knows that camera on, that camera off, it doesn't matter. I feel this way and I'll talk this way to anybody.
Yep.
I'm aggressively serious about giving plumbers a better life.
So the mistake that I made that I don't want you to make is I didn't protect that. So I tolerated less than what I wanted in my culture. And because you're going to come in a situation where you have guys that come to work for you and they're going to be really high producers, but they might be a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
And they ruin the whole camaraderie between the shop.
So I've thought of that. Like this guy, Matt, that I interviewed for 3 hours at my house. I brought that up. I told him, I was like, I don't have time for cancerous people.
Yeah.
I straight up told him, if you come into this company and you cause problems within the employees, I will fire you so fast it's unreal.
You have to.
Because I'm at a point in my life where I've realized that nothing's going to happen if I don't make it happen.
Yep.
And like the culture that I want is not going to happen unless I make that culture the culture. Yep. And I've been in companies, I've seen companies that have cancerous people there that just like, they just start, hey, you know, Dalton makes $20 million a year. Why don't we make close to that? Like just start like little seeds here and there. Yep. Little Satan working his way into your life, you know? Yep. But it's all right. I got sword of Jesus, bro. I'm chopping you down.
Perfect.
But yeah, I know. I love that you said that and I really appreciate that. But I've thought of that and I take it so seriously. I learned quickly that the moment I feel like I should probably let someone go is the moment I need to let them go. because it doesn't change.
That's
The feeling just gets more and more confirmed.
It's the hardest thing.
It is, especially when you're a plumber, because you don't want to you're like, I don't want to let anyone go, man. I don't want to have this conversation. This sucks.
It's not even the conversation. I feel that responsibility of taking care of people's families, like we talked about earlier. And now I have this guy who, in my mind, is choosing to have a bad attitude or underperform and not get better. And he's forcing me to make him go through a hard time.
Yeah.
That's the part that sucks.
Yeah. I didn't think about it that way. That's a good way to put it, is like, because it's true. You're forcing me, dude. I have no choice. Like it's kill one to save the rest.
I tell everybody, look, if you work here, I'm going to hold you to this standard.
Yeah.
And if you're not hitting that standard, I'm going to do everything in my power to help you hit that standard. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
But if you're not improving and working your way to there,
I can't do it for you.
then it leaves me with, it's either you can't or you don't want to.
Yeah.
And I can't work with either of those.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
And still to this day, even though I fired lots of people, it's still a tough decision to make, because
really is.
I think about their wife at home. I think about their kids at home. And I typically don't hire too many people that don't have wives and kids.
Yeah. We got to have something to work for.
You do.
You got to have purpose, right?
You do. I've probably interviewed 40 people for our wash tech position.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because
That's wild.
We ran ads forever at Prospector for hiring, and we get like somebody to come in one day and be like, "You're hired."
Yeah. Yeah. Immediately. You got a pulse?
Yep. Go out in the truck. We'll see how you do. And then, we fired a lot of people after like a few days of working there. Be like,
yeah, you just, because you just know. You just know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the guy that worked for me the longest. He was with me for a year, and like I was telling you, amazing plumber, great guy. Culture was great with him, great reviews. He just couldn't produce. He would produce enough to pay his payroll and then a little extra sometimes.
Yeah.
Some week randomly he'd have a good week, but he'll be the first. He vouched for me for this guy, Matt, that I hired. He's like, dude, Dalton will take care of you. Dalton will spoil you. Dalton will do anything in his power to invest in you, because I did that for him. And when I told him, I was like, hey, you should probably start looking, because he knew. He was like, man, I'm not a sales guy, man. He's just like, I can't get my head around it. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
He's self-aware enough to be like, yeah, I get it. Now he's at a company where he's making his, 30, 35 an hour or whatever, doing warranty work for residential new construction at the company I used to work for.
Nice.
Which is crazy, but he loves it.
Yeah.
He goes in, he goes home. It's his life. He loves it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad life. It does what he wants. I talk to him all the time. Yeah. So I just started reading like a year ago, like legitimately just started. I read my Bible more than anything, but I read Brandon Not Blanded. I read The Science of Getting Rich. Yeah. I heard that one from you. I read the E-Myth. Did
the E-Myth hit you right here?
Dude, I literally was like, this son of a bitch wrote a book about me.
Yeah.
I was like,
it was a lady about pies.
Yeah. I'm like, pies is plumbing.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
But I read that, and then there's another one. A lot of what I read now is more like Christian-based books. Just because I keep Christ-centered in my life, because everything's been amazing since that decision, so I just don't go against the grain. It's all yours. But another one that I'm about to start, I just ordered it on Amazon from my buddy Chris told me about it. It was Who Stole My Cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese? Yeah. That one. And then I ordered another one. It was one that you said, and I'm trying to remember what it was. It'll come to me. But yeah, I've learned to enjoy reading, because I know that now I'm getting something out of it, rather than it being a task. I use it as another form of like getting better. You
should check out Capital Gains by Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Okay.
So I think it's actually
Chip's the house flipper people, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Capital Gains.
It's a good book.
Capital Gains Taxes. That's funny.
You'll relate a lot to him.
See what you did there.
Yeah. they got a pretty good story. And then his point, he's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
And he kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Just gung ho.
Yeah.
Make wild decisions, come home and tell his wife what he did. And she's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was like I was telling you, my dad calls it my F it characteristic.
There you go. Yeah. And then he talks about a lot about his employees in there now. Sometimes when you're keeping them on, you're really doing them a disservice. If they're not a good fit, they're not a good fit. Get rid of them.
They could be so much happier somewhere else.
They can be.
You know, but you're not giving them the opportunity to find it by keeping them.
Yeah. Yep. Such a hard perspective to make.
It's, man, that guy was the only one out of the employees I've had so far that I had to I don't even call it letting go, because it was such a mutual thing where I told him, I was like, look, man, when it gets to a point where I think it's time to look, I'm going to tell you. Yeah. And he was like, I appreciate you. Like he straight up said that. You know, the other ones quit on me. You know, I've never had a 2-week notice turned in. That's kind of cool. but no, like that conversation was so hard. I thought I was going to cry in that moment. Like I felt that bad.
Yeah.
Like I remember being like, because it didn't feel like I'm letting you go because this isn't the right fit for you. It almost felt like I'm letting you go because I can't make you into what I need to make you in. Like it felt like it was 100% my fault.
Well, and that's totally true. You may not be the leader or have built the company yet.
Yeah.
That he can be a part of.
Yeah.
That might change in the future.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, dude, you'll have a home here the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like if that's as an installer, like that's what we were talking, like making him an installer. Like I love that guy. We still talk every day. Like we still talk all the time.
Yeah.
He'll call me like, you're not going to believe this stupid job I'm headed to right now. You know,
that's awesome.
But yeah, that. And then I think to get back to like the hard hurdles was, I think was changing my mindset for the pricing. That one was, I think that's everybody's one of their biggest hurdles, right? Is like understanding that just because you're charging this does not mean it's not honest and does not mean it's not fair.
Yeah.
You know, because if that were the case, Ferrari wouldn't be in business.
Nope.
There wouldn't be mansions being built. Like, you know what I'm saying? The same guys that are building an apartment Section 8 house are the same guys plumbing in a mansion.
Yep.
Are they highway robbery?
Nope.
Exactly, because it's a premium product for a premium price.
Yep.
You know, so changing that mindset legitimately took me 6 to 8 months. And I got the new flat rate as a price book because I'm such a procrastinator when it comes to anything office work related. And I was like, I don't want to build a price book. I don't want to sit in front of a laptop and do this crap, even though for the past 3 days, that's literally all I've done.
Yep.
But I got the new flat rate, and I remember seeing their prices of like, here's where you need to be, here's what it is. And I was like, how in the hell am I supposed to present this? And then I was like, 5 options is stupid. Like, I'm like 3, maybe. Okay, whatever. And like, it just assuming it's going to fail before it even gets started.
Yeah. Which
my little brother has a horrible, horrible habit of that. And I'm trying to break him of that because like I stop everything with a solution, all of his problems. Like I'm like, why don't you make those and sell them? Well, I got to buy this. I'm like, I'll buy it. Well, I got to get all this other, I'll buy it.
Yep.
I'll buy it all right now. Here, how much? Check right now. How much? Well, nobody's going to want it. How do you know? You haven't sold any. Like, yeah. But he's exactly where I was when I got the new flat rate.
Yep.
I'm like, no one's ever going to pay this. I'm going to lose my company. I'm going to go bankrupt. Everyone's going to think I'm this horrible scumbag. Like, and like you said, when you first start charging those prices, you get all your existing customers who are used to you not making money.
Yep. You
tell them, hey, a water heater is not $1,000 install anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, this is bull crap. And you're just like, listen, I know why you feel this way. And I'm sorry, because that is 100% my fault why you feel this way.
Yep.
I have trained you to feel this way.
Yeah.
I have assured you that by thinking that we should charge $50 to install a toilet, by charging $50 to install a toilet.
Yep.
And that is 100% my fault. And losing those customers, I had to be okay with. And that was really hard, especially coming from a story of didn't have work for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So losing those, I was like, dude, what's going to, but I've had a really good group of core customers that were like, okay.
Yeah.
Like because I always delivered this level of service, I just couldn't afford to do it with employees.
Yeah.
Because I could stretch myself thin and work myself to the bone and it was okay.
Yep.
Because who was I going to complain to? Me,
Yeah.
you know? But once I started having guys, I couldn't, there was no way. And I had I still have a really good group of customers from that time that is like, they've told me, they're like, we're so proud of you. We're so happy to see you doing better. And they tell me, they're like, we actually enjoy having your guys out here more because now y'all don't look so stressed out. Like they could sense how stressed I was by not making any money.
Those are some cool people right there.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's why every time people
are the salt of the earth.
Dude, every time people ask me how you doing, I always say better than I deserve. That is my answer every single time because it is 100% true.
Yeah.
Way better than I deserve.
The world needs more customers like that.
Yeah.
Like, so I argue, I have a friend, his name is Alex Bourne. I hope he listens to this. He probably won't, but I had a yard guy. He's actually going to be on the podcast.
Is this the one you told to charge more?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I remember that. I told you, dude, I listened to the podcast.
He was coming to my house and it was literally like $20 to mow my yard.
I remember you talking about it.
He was going through this app.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, let me pay you. Get off that app.
Yeah.
Because they got to be taking some of your money. And I know you ain't making any money. And he was like, oh, you do that? And I was like, hell yeah. And then I was like, you got to charge me more, man.
Yeah.
Like, are you making any money? Come to find out, the dude he's out there. It's 100 degrees. He's mowing day in and day out.
Yeah.
He ends the year with $0.
Gosh.
Didn't pay himself a penny.
That sucks.
And so I said, come over to my house. We're going to go through your pricing.
Yeah.
And we go through a calculator. We basically just take his expenses and say, here's how much time you have available. Here's what it's cost you. He literally has the most minimal expenses possible. And it doubles what he needs to be charging for a mow.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not going to make any money until you charge this. And he's like, nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah. That's always the first thing out of our mouths.
Yeah.
No one's going to do that. Well, how do you know?
And so he did it. He charged double, raised his rates on everybody. And my friend Alex is my neighbor, and I talked him into using my yard guy.
Is that the appliance guy that was on?
No, that's Marcus.
Oh,
this guy owns a yarn business.
I need to message him.
He owns a hand-dyed yarn business.
Okay.
Does very well. Did like $3 million in sales last year selling yarn.
Oh my gosh.
They get it in bulk, they dye it, and then they ship it out.
Sick.
Cool. He freaks out, and I'm like. He's like, "What? Did you talk to our yard guy?" And I'm like, "I did." He's like, "He's charging me double now." And I'm like, "Well, the poor dude wasn't making any money before." And he goes, "That's not my problem." And I'm like, "Dude, you're a freaking asshole. You know that?
Yeah.
You don't care about that guy and his family. You will fire him and find another cheap guy to then hire to just perpetuate the problem in the world. You're a piece of crap."
Yeah. I agree.
I hope he listens to this.
I hope he does too. And I agree with him.
He'll call me up and be like, screw you.
What the heck, man?
No, he's actually a good dude, but it's just like this lack of understanding, right?
Yeah.
And man, for customers that will pay you more and be thankful for it and be happy to see you succeed, there's not very many of those.
No, not at all. Like, that's why, dude, I will live the rest of my life doing everything it takes to show the world, show God how grateful I am.
Yeah.
Because I understand fully that I don't know. One, I don't deserve anything that I have. Mm-hmm. And two, the fact that I am where I am shouldn't have happened, especially with my past. Like, dude, without my wife, my mom, my dad, Chris, like all my mentors, like my sister-in-law, like all these things, like I'd be dead or in jail.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that I did nothing.
Yeah.
The portion of percentage that I did to get where I am is so minute that it's not worth talking about.
Yeah.
I would much rather glorify God first and then everybody else after and be like, this is why.
Yeah.
You know, because like, dude, like that's how I am now. Like I had a billboard put up in Bandera and the guy was like, okay, $450. So I gave him $500.
Hell yeah.
I always give more than whatever they say.
Hell yeah.
And some people are like, well, you're talking all this. You only gave him $50 more. Like, dude, I'm not going to give people freaking $2,000 just cause.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still smart. But I gave him more to show him like, hey, if I call you and want something else done, I want you to want to work for me.
Yeah.
I want you to be like, oh, I'll push this job for this guy.
Yep.
You know, like I'm loyal to my subcontractors that, you know, dig my tunnels and stuff, because when we replace sewer lines, you have to tunnel under a house.
Dude, I always paid my subs more than the bill. If they send me $1,000 bill, I pay them $1,200.
Yeah, dude, he
Always.
literally called me yesterday and was like, hey, did you get a measurement on that short tunnel we did? I was like, yeah, I think it was like 6 or 7 feet. He goes, oh, my guy said 8. I was like, then charge me 8.
Yeah.
He's like, I was like, charge 8.
Charge me 10.
Yeah. Like,
I want you to stay in
when
business.
I call you and you say I'll be there right now, or I'll be there first thing in the morning, and you're there, I will pay you what you tell me to pay you.
Yep. And then they recommend you to their friends and customers. And yeah.
Like, dude, I can't stress it enough how much people need to start valuing other people. Like, we live in such a narcissistic, self-absorbed world plagued with sin that like these people don't want to look out for one another. Like, we're called to love our neighbors, not judge. Coming from a guy who was wildly judgmental. Yeah. Like wildly judgmental up until like a year ago.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not talking down to anybody. I'm just telling you what I now have. My eyes have been opened.
Yeah.
Like, we're not called to tell people that they're ugly. We're not called to tell people that they suck for no reason. We're not called to cut people off in traffic just because you want to get somewhere quicker. We're not called to, walk through a door when someone's holding it for you and not say thank you. Like, to be on your phone and walk straight into somebody because you're on the wrong side of the aisle. Like, can we please have some respect for each other?
Yep.
Like, I can't stand this self-absorbed world that we live in that I believe social media has created.
Yeah.
And, you know, and of course now, you know, that comes off like cynical and all that, but like, that's why I stay off of social media as much as I can without doing business stuff, because if you talk to your neighbor, most people aren't like that, but there's a lot of people out there that are like that are shadowing those really good people because most people don't focus on blessings. They focus on things that suck.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people out there that are doing things that suck instead of doing things that could really just, dude, high tides raise all ships. Like, if we could all just work together and not be turds, like, this world would be so sick. Yep. It would be so sick. Yep. Imagine that. Like, imagine if people were just nice to each other.
It'd be so cool.
You know, from a guy who was really mean to everybody for a long time.
It'd be super awesome. It'd be super awesome if people recognized the effort that goes into things.
Yeah.
And be willing to me, you vote with your dollar.
Yes.
In every single way. Even, you know, up until this last election, I would have told you the election doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
We vote with our dollars.
Yeah.
I still believe we vote with our dollars.
Yeah.
Like, we could put everybody out of business by spending our dollar somewhere
with someone else. Yep.
With someone else. And I wish people would use their dollars to vote for I wish they would align their dollars with what they actually believed in.
Instead of thinking it didn't matter.
I wish they would define what they believe in, know what they're convicted about.
Yeah. And have a set of morals.
And then use their resources to back that up. Even
if you don't have 2 pennies to rub together, you still have resources.
You do.
Those 2 pennies are resources.
Yeah, they are.
You know, like I just, this country's done a really good job at brainwashing people into thinking that it's so dog eat dog that you can't worry about other people.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case. It's not true at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when we started this, I told you Bandera is my favorite place in the entire world. We just had some pretty tragic events happen to where 7 houses burnt to the ground.
Oh man.
Because of, and I don't know the whole facts, so I won't even try to act like I do and say something wrong, but a fire started, it burnt these people's houses down. And this awesome, awesome girl that owns Out of the Way Cafe owns this, she runs a nonprofit. And dude, they bought up used campers and turned them into livable spaces for these people.
That's cool.
Like we have a place called Silver Sage there that used their whole office as a shelter. Cool. Like that's what we should be doing. We should be running to help people.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need help one day.
Yeah. And
if you are such a horrible, miserable person to be around, when you need that help, it's going to be pretty lonely. It's going to be pretty lonely.
Even if you do get that help, you're going to feel like a giant piece of crap.
And if you don't, then there's something wrong with you.
Something's way wrong.
Then there's something way deeper wrong with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Bandera's community, man. Like that place gives me hope for human beings.
Cool.
For real. Because we help our own for sure. But yeah.
So last thing before we go.
Yeah.
What's your goals with DH Plumbing?
Oh, man, they change all the time. My why has never changed.
What's your why?
My why is to change my entire family's financial future. And I mean my entire family's. My brothers, my mom's, my dad's girlfriend, my mom's boyfriend, my brother, cousins, every single one of them. Whatever that means when it cuts to that, I'm there for it. That has never changed. I've said that since the day I opened up. I told my family when I sent my mom, my dad, my wife, and my brother in a group chat a picture of our billboard. I said, I told y'all I was going to change our lives, and I'm doing it. I promise you one day it's going to happen.
Cool.
But my goals, man, one day it's like, screw it. I want to be a one-man show the rest of my life. This sucks. And the next day it's like, I want 85 trucks on the road, and I want to be in 3 different markets. Like Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, right? But if I was super honest about my goals and like really honed it in, I would probably say I just want to be as big as I need to get to give as many plumbers in San Antonio a chance to live a really good life with not having to work over 50 or 60 hours a week. Even 60's pushing it. Whatever that looks like, that's what I would like. Because if that no matter how it happens, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to make sure my bills are paid. If I go to a one-man show, we're good, whatever, but I just want to build this thing however big it needs to be, however long we need to go. I don't want to sell. I'll never sell to private equity. Private equity, don't ever call me. I'll never do it. I don't care how much it is. I literally do not care. You can't buy me. I have morals that are deeper than you. Like, I'm either going to have my kids take it over, or a super loyal employee can buy me out. But I'll never sell to private equity, ever. I don't care. They could offer me $3 trillion. Kick rocks.
Perfect.
I don't care. But yeah, that's my goal. Give every single plumber in San Antonio a place to call home that they are stoked to work at.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming on, dude.
Dude, thanks for having me. First time in Florida. I've been up since 2 a.m. getting on flights. Woke up at 2 to drive all the way into San Antonio from Bandera and hop on a flight and then come straight here. I was in the hotel for 30 minutes. I'm pumped, dude. Like,
cool. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Right on. We better go get some steak.
Let's do it, dude. Let's go eat some cows.
All right.